Good morning, YouTube family. Good morning to the clubhouse. Good morning to you all. Today is a new day. Appreciate it. Thank God. Thank you for that prayer, Lady Darlene. Thank you for all you who are present. Thank you to all our YouTube viewers and supporters. Good morning, Dr. Jerome. Good morning to you, sir. I yield to you.
All right. Well, good morning to everybody. Thank you for not just showing up, but even for inviting a few people. Today is necessary. And I know that you've asked them to do this already, but I want you to just take another 10 seconds and invite a few folks for both YouTube and Clubhouse. And just share. There are people who really need to hear what's going to happen today. Um, there's something going on with the connection here in this area where for the past few days we've been having some challenges connecting with our computers and not so much with our phones. Even the laptop, the iPads, everything that's bigger than a smartphone is having some trouble. But I just made the statement that I am coming in. This is going to work. See, we battle, so to speak, with the prince of the power of the air, and it's really not a battle. I, I've as of late, I have personally had some issues with some of the things that we say so casually as kingdom citizens, because of the authority we carry, because of who we are. When we have a revelation of that, it's just it's been a challenge for me to look at myself and say that I'm in a battle. This is a fight. This is a fight to the finish. When when I hear the echoes of the voice of Mahalia Jackson singing, "The battle's been fought." Well, she said, "Fit." The battle's been fought, and the victory won. Oh, it was Joshua fit the battle. Joshua fought the battle, and now and see now when I hear myself say "fit," the battle, it's saying to me that the end result of the battle has been fit for me. I've been fit or made to fit in the end result because of the word of God. What does the word of God say about the battle? When we look in Second Corinthians, not Corinthians, Second Chronicles, chapter 20, it tells us there, beginning in verse 20, but it tells us there in that chapter that we're not going to have to fight this battle. What looks like a battle has already been decided. It's already been fought. Everything that we're going to face, y'all, has been determined at Calvary. That was the last battle. That was the last battle. Um, and and what we see there is that in Paul's letter to Corinth, he says that the Lord Jesus Christ made an open shame of the devil. He beat him so bad and so decisively. There is no tomorrow as far as the fight is concerned. The fight has been fought. The battle has been fought, and you cannot unfight a finished battle. If that were possible, then the devil would back up. Satan, Lucifer, he would back up and he would talk to his minions and tell them, listen, we're going to do everything we can to keep Jesus alive. Don't let Rome take him to the cross. He's not going to die. He's not even going to trip over a stone. Jesus If Lucifer had known the plan of God, if the devil had known the battle plan of God, Jesus would still be walking around trying to find somebody to betray him, because the devil would have put hands off on him. But he didn't know. Because he didn't know, he didn't know the strategies that have been deposited in us, that with all the things that we have access to. And it's something because we have all the knowledge of a warrior, of a combatant, but we don't have to fight this battle. See, we're making spiritual warfare, and we're singing the songs about I'm fighting in the heavenlies, and I'm doing this, and I'm prepared for this battle, and all of that. It's not what you think. It's not what we've been taught. It's not what we have seen. It's not what we have been trying to mentally pump ourselves up for. That is not the battleground for us. Why? Why would the word tell us that in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 57, thanks be unto God who has past tense, given. Again, that's something that's already been exchanged or presented to us, who has given us victory. Victory, where's victory achieved? That means that you're going to have to battle, you're going to have to fight. But he's given us victory through Jesus Christ, and he always causes us to triumph. Are we fighting devils? If we're fighting devils, my question is, why? Why are we fighting devils? My wife asked me a question years ago. Actually, it's probably been about 41 years ago, because she was pregnant with our second child. I'm having a conversation with our first, and I'll tell you that sometimes, well, our children, we're so intelligent that in a conversation you would forget that you're talking to a child. Maybe I'm the only one, and if I am, maybe I should have kept that to myself. But the truth is that I would be in a discussion or a conversation with JJ or with Jerome Jr. and we're going back and forth, and my wife said, "Jay, why are you arguing with a 3-year-old? Why are you going back and forth with a 3-year-old?" I'm like, man, that made me feel like I was 3 years old, because I forgot. I mean, when he was 9 years old, he sat in on a class that I taught back in Hampton at Antioch. Pastor Booker had asked me to teach on anthropology from a biblical perspective. That was our Bible study, which was on the air, and so I did that, and it took us about 90 days, so about little more than 3 months to get through that series, Anthropology from a Biblical Perspective. And one of the challenges, daily challenge for every person, this was the adult class that a 9-year-old sat in on every week. And he was absorbing. Now, he didn't read the same translation of the Bible that my wife and I had been studying out of reading, but the challenge was to read 12 chapters a day. Don't miss a day, because tomorrow you got 24, and it's not as easy. 24 becomes a big number when you read in chapters, but 12 chapters a day. And in 90 days or 91 days, we had read the entire Bible. Now, we found ourselves, we were in a discussion when we were in, I think it was the Song of Solomon, and our 9-year-old was reading that, and my wife and I looked at each other, because he's talking about the knowledge and the pomegranates and what is this, and he's understanding what it is for the, to that level, what was commensurate or what was acceptable for that level, his 9-year-old brain. And but we're having this discussion like he's grown. I can imagine what the elders must have felt, how the elders must have felt. You remember when Jesus went missing, a day's journey. They had traveled, his parents had traveled a day's journey uh, before they discovered that he was missing, which meant that they had to turn around and travel another day's journey. So he had actually been in the temple holding a discussion with the elders, with the priests, that like an adult, and he's only 12 years old. It blew their minds. How could you have such maturity at this age? So when I think about these things, when I consider all of the things that I just shared with you, and going back to the original challenge for me, when we're talking about a battle, that the battle has already been determined, it's already been fought, and victory is already mine. He has given us his victory. What does that mean? And he tells us to enter into my finished work, enter into my rest. When we enter into his rest, that means that the work has already been done. You don't rest until you've already worked. Are you with me? You don't rest. You don't get to take a break until you've worked. The Lord rested on the Sabbath day because he worked days 1 through 6. So the last day of creation was the sixth day, and he established everything for creation within 6 days. And man, we were created in the sixth day, and he established our dominion and our responsibilities in the sixth day. Because he said from the beginning, let them have dominion over everything. And so he rested, and he tells us to rest because the work has been finished. Jesus is saying, enter into my rest. He said, take my yoke. We're going to exchange yokes. The yoke is the thing that's going to lead and guide you. That's going to determine which way you're going next. The yoke is that collar, that thing around your neck that brings some control or some discipline. And he says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. He's saying that my yoke is easy, and my burden, this burden that I'm going to place, this is light. It's a light burden. I've done the work, but what I'm doing is I'm dressing you up like a person who's done the work. You are the executive of my estate. And as a matter of fact, I'm transferring the deed to this land to you. The heavens, the psalmist tells us, the Lord says, I created for myself, but the earth I've left as an inheritance to the sons of men. That's us. That's us. And everything that's in it is ours. It belongs to me. And you can make it personal. You need to say that it belongs to me. And so the victory is no different. See, the victory falls into agreement, or the same space, or is put in the same suitcase of the I like that, the same suitcase of the of the peace of Jesus. Everything that he did, that he accomplished, he put it in the suitcase. He put it away for us. He put it in the suitcase. What you see, my body is the suitcase. It contains my spirit and receives instruction from my soul. But my body is what you see, not what's on the inside. My body is what you see. So he says, my peace. Now it's easy for us to get this as far as the peace is concerned, because he says, my peace, I'm giving to you. I'm giving you my peace. And that means that there's nothing missing. That's the confidence, the knowledge, rather, that's even greater than confidence, or maybe it adds to my knowledge, adds to my confidence. So I'm walking in a strong confidence because I know who I am, and because I know who he is, and I know that we are one with him, and I'm made to sit in heavenly places in him. I know that everything that he said, it's not that he's waiting to do it. He's waiting for me to mature, to walk and to operate in it. It's waiting for me. It's in my future and waiting for my arrival. I just got to grow to it. I just got to mature. That's all I have to do. So we get the shalom, right? Is that a yes? We get shalom. Nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing lacking, no thing missing, no thing in my life is broken, no thing in my life is lacking. So we get that. But what about the victory? Do we get that? Do we get the victory? Do we get it? This is for somebody. I may have shared it before, but maybe somebody here didn't hear. So a few years ago, actually, it was in 2020, just before everything shut down. You know, some of the brothers as apostles and deacons and some of the brothers, we just get together every year, every third week of January, and we go someplace to play some golf. It's a golf trip. So we're not going to sightsee. We're not going to talk to people, meet with folks. We're going to play golf. And we do it because we play 2 rounds a day. We get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We prepare and we go into the golf course while it's still dark. And then at first light, we're out golfing. It might be 5:30, 5:45, 6 a.m. First light. We want to be first out there. And we play 18 holes, and then we leave that golf course, get something to eat if there's time. Heading to the second golf course, we don't even take our shoes off, because by the time we get there, we might have 20 minutes before we tee off. And so we were in Orlando that year, and we played a golf course that was nice, premium, but that's just to warm up. And in the afternoon, we play a professional golf course, a PGA course. And this time we were at Disney's, what was it? Lake Buena Vista, I think it was, or Magnolia. But anyway, they make you go out in fours. They make you go out in fours. And since there was only 2 of us, because there was only 6 men who traveled that year, me and David, were by ourselves, and they were going to pair us with somebody else, people we didn't know. But we saw 2 women going out, 2 sisters going out in front of us. And so David said, "Hey, Doc, why don't you just ask them if we can join them?" And so I did, and we did. Well, it turns out that they were going out by themselves because they were professional golfers. And I recognized one of them from television. And she said, "Yeah, that's who I am." And she gave me her name. And I said, "But I haven't seen you." And she said, "Because my hand was hurt." And she wanted to just get out and try it today. And those folks, they play free, so they can play anywhere. And so I said, "Your hand is hurt." And she said, "Yeah, I can't open it and close it." I said, "Do you believe?" Now, I told her, I gave her my name. My name is Jerome, and this is David. And, "Hi, Jerome." And so we're introducing ourselves. And I said, "Do you believe in the healing power of God?" And she said, "I do." I said, "You mind if I pray for you?" And she said, "No." I said, "Give me your hand." Right there in front of everybody else, right? "Give me your hand." She gave me her hand, and I put her hand inside of my 2 hands, and I'm speaking into her hand, and I told her, I said, "Just because I touched you, because Jesus says that one of the signs that follow them that believe is they're going to lay hands on the sick, and the sick shall recover. So I'm laying hands on your hand, and I command your hand to be healed and whole, better than it was before, now, in Jesus' name." And she said, "Oh my God, my hand was on fire." And she was able to open and close it just like that. She was healed. Now this is where I'm going, is that it turned out to be a challenge. So, David was doing some talking about challenging them, to a round. But David, and I'm like, "Man, we ain't gonna challenge them. They're pros. they'll beat us. Now, he's like, you got to keep the faith. I'm a man of faith. Yeah. Fred Price did a series on faith, foolishness, or presumption. I'm like, man, okay, well, we're going to play. So she heard him and she said, okay, we'll just play for fun. And I'm going to show you something that you've never seen before. This woman started calling her shots from 147 yards away from the pin. Now, the hole is only about 4 inches. And she says, now from 147 yards away, she said, I'm going to put the ball 5 feet on the right side and make it stick. And she did it. So they won the first hole. And David said, it's just 1-0. We still got a chance. Okay, then the second hole, it's just 2-0. We still got a chance. And and after we played the third hole, he said, they're just up by 3. We still got a chance. And we're going to play 18 holes. We're going to play 18. We still got a chance to win. And then after the fourth hole, they won. He said, it's only the fourth hole. I said, man, just shut up. Just don't talk to me. They're beating us up and calling their shots from 100 yards. That's a football field and a half away from this 4-inch wide hole, and they're calling their shots, man. Just shut up. Just don't talk. Don't talk about how, where they are and how much they were shutting us out. It was 15-0, but we won. We got victory. I was wearing my Raiders gear and all that, and had my Raiders hat on. And I can tell you how we got victory. It started to sprinkle and their hair was getting wet. Didn't matter that they had hats on, but their hair was getting wet. These sisters, you already know. I ain't got to tell you nothing. Their hair is getting wet. They jumped in the cart and they said, oh no, that's it. We quit. And I said, you quit? Me and David stand out in the rain. I'm getting wet. And I said, you quit. I want to get this right. So you forfeiting. And she said, you are not going to take a victory that way. I said, I'm wearing a Raiders hat. I'll take a victory any way I can get a victory. I just need to understand. You guys, you're finished. And so we exchanged numbers and all that. And they're laughing. And they said, okay, so you want to take a victory that way? Absolutely. And they left. And as soon as they cleared, David said, hey, you want to just finish this round and finish this hole and go on in? I said, absolutely. We got victory. No need for us to stay out here getting wet. Why am I going to stay out here and continue to fight a battle that's already been decided? Oh, I'm trying not to beat on this desk. Why am I going to do that? There's no need for me to fight when the battle has already been decided and victory has been handed to us. It changes the way that you go on. We can finish this round. And as we were getting ready to stop, and it stopped raining. They never came back, but it wouldn't matter even if they did. We're not picking up where we left off. No, we left off at victory being transferred to us. We have victory. We have that victory, and you can't undo what's already been done. You can't undo undetermined. Well, you know what I'm saying. You can't undo it. You can't unfight it. You can't unplay it. You can't unring a bell. You can't do it. Once you put the sugar in the water, it disappears. You can't. Well, the brother Rouleau, he found a way to do that. But you get what I'm saying. Jesus gave us his victory, meaning that he has already determined the outcome of the war you're planning to fight. The war is over. That war is over. And I'm going to talk to you about what it is that we're really fighting, what it is that we're dealing with as it pertains to the soul. We're still on this 16-day journey and we're coming to the end of it. And I promise you that I'm going to finish what it is that we've started. The spirit is, again, what's made in the image of God, and that connects us to him. But the spirit may carry heaven's inspiration or instructions, but unless the soul agrees and the body submits, the body's going to remain silent because it comes from the dust and it connects us to the earth. So the body is from the dust and it connects us to the earth. It keeps us grounded, and it gives us legal right to the spirit legal right to operate in this realm. It's the soul that translates eternity, what's eternal, which you can't see. It's the one that translates it into action. So even heaven, the soul takes heaven into history and revelation into reality. It's the soul that's going to provide the instructions. It's the guide. Okay, there's five things we're going to look at real quick. Wrote them down and I sent the notes. So the number one, the spirit is divine, the body is earthly, the soul is the bridge. You get that? The spirit is divine, the body is earthly, the soul is the bridge. It's just another way to say what we've been saying all week, all month, all year. All right. The spirit comes from God. It connects us back to him. The body comes from the earth and it connects us back to the earth. And the soul, it's the interface. Speaking of interface, that's what I've been having some, dealing with. The interface, it allows the eternal spirit to express itself through this temporary body. So without the soul, the spirit cannot fully manifest. Without the soul, it can't fully manifest. Why? Because the spirit was given a body and the body has been given a soul. So the soul provides the instruction to the body so it can carry out the purpose of the spirit. Am I talking too much? Y'all still got me? You still there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. That was number one. Number two, the soul is the translator. It's the translator. Yeah. Think of the spirit as the executive order of heaven. We've been, I'll stay where I am. Okay. The executive order of heaven. The body, think of it as the boots on the ground. Don't do that either. And the soul as the embassy translator. Okay, so you got the executive order, you've got the boots on the ground. Well, we're talking military. We're keeping that format, and then you have the embassy translator. The spirit is going to receive direction from God. The soul is going to interpret the direction into thoughts and emotions and will and decisions. The body is going to carry out what's been decided. So if the soul doesn't translate, the body can't react. Now that's why the soul is so strategic and where agreement or rebellion takes place in the soul. So the battle, it's not. I'm not fighting against what's already been defeated, folks. We don't fight. That's why it's like scratching a chalkboard or dragging a rake across the sidewalk. When I hear people taking authority over spirits that have no authority, when it compels to them, they don't have authority. I've been given authority over their authority. I've been given power over their power. I've been given power and ability, sustaining ability over all of the power of the devil. So I don't have to take authority, and I don't bind. I'm binding these devils. Devil, I bind you. No, you only bind to you what you want to keep. Tie them, write them upon the tables, bind them upon the tables of your heart. These principles, put them on your forehead, put them on your doorpost, bind it, fix it there. I bind what I want to keep to me, and I release and send out. I get rid of what I want to get away from me. Folks, we're walking around. I just had a vision of a baby's diaper that's loaded, with everything. It's loaded, and the baby is crying because that diaper is bound to them. It's taped on them, and they don't know how to get it off. So you bind. I don't want this bound to me, So what we do now, old school, maybe some of y'all don't know about the cloth diapers. Anybody remember about the cloth diapers and the diaper pins? Anybody remember that? And the rubber pants that went over the cloth diapers so you can keep the bed dry at night, or keep the baby's clothes dry, or keep you dry because you're carrying that baby. Y'all don't know about the cloth diapers? Well, there's something about the cloth diapers. Now, the liquid would just go right through it. But it was the other stuff. It was the poop that we had to dunk that in the toilet. Y'all don't remember that? Yeah, we had to take that diaper off carefully, and then we would dump it in the toilet, dunking it, getting all that stuff off. Ain't trying to use my hand, but you got to fold it just right and bend it just right. I'm going through the motions, y'all. You can't see me on the phone, but those of you on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing, and you're probably saying, "Yeah, I remember that." See, that's releasing it from, yeah, you've already released it. You've unbound it from the baby, because that's not supposed to be tied to you. So you'll only tie the stuff that's supposed to be bound to you. Jesus saw the woman who was afflicted by these spirits that had her all bent over, and Jesus didn't say to her, "Woman, thou art bound by these spirits." No, that's obvious. You're bound by the wrong thing. He said, "Woman, you are loose. You are loose now from this spirit." And she was able to stand straight. So we release the spirits from their assignment and we cast them out, just like we're casting out or flushing what's in the diaper that had been bound to a person. No, that's the wrong thing that's bound. I'm releasing you from this person, and I'm getting rid of what doesn't belong, and I am binding to you sickness. It might be in my body, but it don't belong to me. And so I am releasing the spirit of sickness from its assignment, and I am binding to me divine health, because divine health is mine. That's what I walk in. See, this is the language or the vocabulary of a person who knows who they are, and they walk in victory. I'm walking in victory. I'm on top, not the bottom. So why am I still talking like a bottom feeder? I'm the head and not the tail. So why am I still acting okay? So I'm a lender to the nations, and I don't have to beg for anybody. So why am I begging? It also irritates me when I hear people praying, "Oh, please, Master, please, Master." You've been free for a long time, but there's a mentality of bondage that's still connected to the body. And today we are free from it. The soul it's then that's the place where decisions are made. The soul, that's where agreement or with the word of God or rebellion takes place in the soul. That would be your mind. Oh my goodness, I'm 7 minutes over, but I'm going to give you these, and maybe if you want to keep talking, I'll try to finish them all tomorrow. But that was number two. Okay, number one, the spirit is divine, the body is earthly, the soul is the bridge. Number two, the soul is the translator. Here's number three, the soul holds the keys of consent. The soul holds the keys of consent. See, God gave man free will. That was probably the worst thing that he could have done, as far as many of us were concerned, to give me free will. No, I would rather you just make me a robot. And that's the way I used to pray, "Lord, just make me a robot. So I only have a mind to serve you. I only have a mind to do what's right, to do your will. That's all I want to do is your will. Make me do." But he's not going to do that. He gave me a free will because he wanted me to choose. He wanted me to choose to love him, to serve him, to honor him, to worship him. He wanted me to choose to do that. And so the choice is yours, whether you're going to live in victory or in defeat. The choice is yours. You can continue to live like you've been defeated when you got victory, and it's yours. Just use the power that you have to operate in this realm that you've been given, not to be used by or to be beat up by, but to dominate, to have dominion over everything that was created, not another human being, but the things that were created for you. So the spirit knows the will of God. According to Romans 8:16, the spirit knows the will of God. but the body won't obey unless the soul says yes. Okay. Jesus said, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. But before aligning with it, see, he was struggling right there in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he was saying what my will is, and I'm struggling because I still haven't submitted my will to yours. And finally, he said, "Not my will, but your will be done." That the soul had to consent for the Spirit's direction to manifest in the body. He was fighting his soul. And it wasn't just for him, because he was human. He had to die as a man, because it was a man who ushered sin in, and it had to be a man that was going to get it out. That's why we call him the second Adam. Okay, that's number 3. The soul holds the keys of consent. Number 4, the Spirit directs, the soul governs, and the body executes. I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again. You know, that's kind of what they taught us in seminary, that you repeat yourself at least 3 times. And since I graduated from 3 seminaries, I got to do it 9 times, once for each. So, no, I don't. The Spirit directs, the soul governs, and the body executes. Again, purpose, identity, revelation, that's the Spirit. Agreement, or resistance, hesitation, surrender, that's the soul. But the movement, speech, and behavior, that's the body. Okay, so again, the Spirit, that's going to be where you find, because I said it defines, it provides divine direction. So the connection to the divine, the divinity of humanity is going to be found in the Spirit, and the Spirit equals purpose, identity, and revelation. The soul, it equals agreement, resistance, hesitation, and surrender. And the body, it's movement, speech, and behavior. Okay, that's just 4. We're stopping. That's why Satan fights for the soul, because whoever governs the soul governs what gets expressed in the body. That's why the battlefield, Joyce Myers wrote a book on the battlefield of the mind. I heard her preach it. I haven't read the book, but the battlefield of the mind, people were talking about it. But I get it. I get it. I understand why he's not fighting for your body. You only see what happens in the body is the manifestation or the expression of what's already been determined by the soul. The Spirit carries God's intent. The soul is the seat of agreement, or where intent is either embraced or resisted. That's the soul. Without the soul, the body would never know how to follow or to lead. Wouldn't be able to follow the Spirit's lead, wouldn't be able to follow or lead, wouldn't be able to do anything without. Okay, folks, I'm 12 minutes over. I got to stop. But I think that might be enough for you to chew on for the day. Just get your day started. That's why we're here on YouTube. Whenever we fast, over the past however many years, whenever we fast, I'm spending time with you in the morning and speaking into your life just to get your day started, just giving you another Bible study, something for you to be motivated. This is the gas for your tank to get you moving today. And so I say good morning, praise the Lord, and good morning to you for those of you on YouTube. This is the morning word. This is the year of intentional growth. Everything we do is intentional. This is the year of intentional growth, and we're fasting from processed to refined sugar. If it's sweet, if it's sugar added, don't do it. What is that doing? And when we're fasting, it's not just a matter of abstaining, but remember that we're speaking to our soul. We're sending our soul a message that the Spirit is still large and in charge. And we're going to keep doing this until by now our souls should have given up and surrendered. By now, our souls should have been submitted to the direction it receives from God, from the Spirit. By now, but we're doing this until the end of the year, the first of the year. Remembering two scriptures. Well, there's more, but two scriptures. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 3. Well, verses 2 through 10. And I keep jumping to 3 because 3 tells us God by his divine power hath given us, past tense, given us, again, past tense, all things, that's everything, everything that pertains to my life and to my godliness, my behavior. He's given me everything. He set me up in victory to only succeed. That's why you have what you have. But he already gave it to me. And then 3 John 2, beloved, I would above all things that you prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prospers. My soul holds the key. All right, folks, I'm going to talk with you again. Today's Friday. So I look forward to speaking with you again on Monday, being right here, same place. Please share this with people. Come out on Sunday morning. If you're in Sacramento, get to Jubilee Training Center, 7000 Franklin Boulevard, Suite 560. And if you missed that and you want some directions or whatever it is that you need, you can go to the website. Just go to jubileetrainingcenter.org, jubileetrainingcenter.org, or you might be able to get there if you go through jeromemcgee.com. My name, first, last name.com. Church Center. On your mobile device, you'll be able to get directions, whatever it is that you need. There's no excuse. Or just call 916-417-5545. 916-417-5545. All right. Moderator, you can invite everybody to come on over. Just remind them that they got 2 to 3 minutes, 3 minutes max, to come on over to Clubhouse. You got it. Oh, that's the daughter. In purple, royal today.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jerome. Thank you so much for pouring out this word, this content. We so appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Listen, YouTube family, thank you for all your support. We appreciate you being present. And like Dr. Jerome said, if you can, come on over to the Clubhouse. We'll continue the conversation. But for you, YouTube viewers, listen, happy Friday. Thank you for joining Conversations with Dr. Jerome. The spirit directs, the soul governs, the body execute. We have been going over the prosperity and power of a living soul. Let this bless your life for the rest of your life. Enjoy your weekend. Again, share, like, share, subscribe. Enjoy your weekend.